Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Grubby and TGW. This game taking place here on Autumn Leaves 2.0. Right, no, there was no use of meat wagons in that last game. But let's go ahead and focus on this game here. TGW spawning as the pink human player on the top right-hand side of the map. I'm going to be training up most likely an Archmage. Going up against Grubby. Going Farseer first. And, there is that War Mill. Going to be looking at a barracks a little bit here in just a moment. And start trying to train up some of those headhunters. But it looks as though that's going to be delayed. Grubby actually going for a very aggressive tech to tier 2 before the Farseer is even out in play. Footman doing a bit of scouting, gonna simply run on by. Meanwhile, TGW gonna get some valuable information knowing that his opponent doesn't even have a single production building as of yet. One pretty in pink, Footman attempting to take down this barracks while it's getting constructed. That's going to be taking quite a bit of damage as the Archmage may try and make a bit of a play and head on over here in just a second. Ring of Protection +3, that first item. All right, Footman now looking to retreat back here. This Footman still racking up a little bit of damage against this barracks. May get up to around 700 hit points when everything is said and done. Coming back around, Archmage could be making its way back down to the south here. Thank you for the follow. As the Footman now actually going after an Orc burrow. That's not gonna bode well, especially with that one burrow actually within combat range with a peon inside it. Voodoo Lounge now trying to get constructed here. Two Footmen are here as well, but they are both relatively low on hit points. Archmage leading in the charge as there is a quick cancellation there. Grubby putting pressure on to TGW's Archmage. Archmage now retreating back off to the north. Footman heading back off to the right as well, as that Spirit Wolf can deal quite a bit of damage. And that Wolf eyes on the prize, ignoring the Stag, going after the Footman instead.
The player's forces are under attack.
As we head back off to the north here, Tech to Tier 2 has been started by TGW. Tech to Tier 2 nearly completed by Grubby. As you remember, he Tech to Tier 2 before his Farseer was even out in play. Gonna find a couple of Footmen trying to retreat back here. Are those Footmen gonna fall down to 81 hit points, down to 61, trying to retreat back inside, down to 42, and it looks as though that Arcane Tower is gonna be doing quite a bit of work. All right, that's easily going to get cleaned up here. Footman still trying to retreat back, but one low hit point Footman may not be able to make it. There it goes, finally absorbing some damage, finally getting taken down as the Farseer of Grubby gets in one easy kill. Archmage, during this time, actually going after creep camps here. Clearing out some difficult creep camps by himself. Gonna attempt to take it down. Takes it down, but now still not at level 2 after all of this time. Archmage absorbing quite a bit of damage here as grunts are now joining in on the battle as well. Militia calling to arms, trying to fight back as Grubby is just dealing with one arcane tower. No other heroes or any other units to try and fight back against. Was the item picked up? No, it wasn't. The Wand of Illusion is still there as the Archmage finally gets to level 2. Arcane Tower doing quite a bit of work trying to feed back against that Archmage, against that Farseer and all of those Spirit Wolves. Archmage by himself no longer does have a Rifleman as a companion, but will need some more water elementals as well as to continue this fight here. All right, Sludge Flinger about to get taken down. Skeletal Archer and Giant Skeletal Warrior. That little blob right there easily getting cleaned up. Tauren Chieftain. I didn't even see it yet. I just kind of guessed. Tauren Chieftain as that second hero already out here onto the battlefield looking to try and get to level 2. This 533 creep camp will get that Tauren Chieftain close and open things up with either Stomp or Shockwave. Or follow things up, as he already opened things up with Endurance Aura. Archmage, Water Elemental taking damage while the Riflemen go to target practice against that Sasquatch. Sasquatch quickly getting cleaned up there. Footmen now in that front line spot as well as the Forest Troll Trappers. will get cleaned up here. Footman about to get taken down. There goes another unit to creeps. I'm a bit concerned about that. Gonna go ahead and try and pull back here. It looks as though TGW realized he missed that Wand of Illusion. Going back for it now as we see a Mountain King as that secondary hero. All right, a little rat on the battlefield. Difficult to get around on that horse for that Archmage as the Archmage now makes its way back down to the south. Grubby now setting up a watchtower here with reinforced defenses at the natural expansion location here on Autumn Leaves. Meanwhile, back to the center here, Archmage will be getting to level 3, clearing out this 533 creep camp. Not far away, Grubby also clearing out a relatively difficult creep camp in this Forest Troll Warlord creep camp here, picking up a Forest Troll Berserker. Overall supply, we're looking at 40 over 42 compared to 36 over 41. Pretty even as we see the Archmage now trying to pick off some of those units, getting in an easy snipe down onto one Shaman, and now cleaning up the remainder of this creep camp in a level 5 Sasquatch, which should give level 2 to that Mountain King. Mountain King with that Mantle of Intelligence, getting some bonus mana and mana regeneration. Enraged Wildkin, Null Overseer, all of these units gonna go ahead and try and engage as well. A couple of ensnares coming back across a Stormbolt onto a Null Warden, as the Null Warden just temporarily just frozen there for a bit, as we're still seeing engagement going back and forth. All right, very low hit point Null Assassin going to get sniped down there. Make sure it doesn't deal too much damage as this Enraged Wildkin is going back and forth. Meanwhile, Archmage testing the waters and gets meted and greeted by the majority of the Orc army there. Mountain King wants to get to level 3 if possible. Doesn't get there. I don't know if the Archmage was too close, as we are now looking at a fight coming down. Torrent Chieftain going to throw down a stomp, stunning many of the units. Raiders now going after that back line, as we are looking at the Rifleman trying to focus down perhaps a couple of grunts as well. There comes a big stomp that slightly increased radius, making a big drastic difference, as a couple more ensnares going down as well. Torrent Chieftain still going after some low hit point Rifleman. Wand of the Wind. Wand of Wind used there to cyclone up that Mountain King, as that Mountain King wants to land down a Stormbolt. Does get the Stormbolt. Will just need one more shot to try and finish things off, and now the Mountain King sits comfortably at level 3. Back off to the north here. Well, Militia trying to fight back, and well, this could be a problem. Just losing units in a transit, as the main expansion or the main base losing the 2 additional Riflemen. And, well, TGW could come up a little bit more hurt here. There goes one Raider, though, so not going to be a complete loss in the exchange, as the Riflemen now look to retreat back. All right, that expansion no longer operational here, but both sides suffering quite a bit of losses. 42 supply over 48, as the Priest now comes out onto the battlefield to try and, well, help those peasants. If I say 42 over 48, but there are 2 very low hit point Riflemen that could quickly change that number quickly, or, well, change that number quickly and drastically, as the Torrent Chieftain attempting to catch up to those units. All right, where are the units coming back down to now? Mountain King could make a play back over. Do we see any Priest as well, as the Rifleman down to 29 hit points? He gets a shot in the back. Stormbolt there onto the Torrent Chieftain, but that is just superficial damage for the 950 hit point tank. More Riflemen, more Priest trying to join in on the battle, quickly realizing that they don't want to get caught in transit. Gonna go ahead and jump into the Goblin Zeppelin and try and focus onto the battlefield here. Low hit point Grunt quickly getting cleaned up here, as the army, well, at least the Priest should be dropped back onto the ground in order to do his thing and do a bit of healing on all of these units. Goblin Sapper of Grubby comes across and, well, able to rack up damage across multiple Riflemen right there. That was completely unexpected. And now finishing off 3 Riflemen, as they took serious battle damage suddenly. Stormbolt onto that Raider. Raider down to 115 hit points. Will he be able to make it out? Yes, he does. But using the Goblin Sappers from the Goblin Laboratory right there, such a clutch, interesting play to deal lasting damage. 44 supply going up against 44 supply going up against 44. So even was that effective? The fact that Grubby was able to clean up all 3 of those riflemen because that initial damage was done, I would call that a very good trade. As we see a Stormbolt now go down onto a Shaman. Yes, Goblin Sappers are expensive, but 3 Riflemen are much more expensive. Much more expensive. And also provide much more experience. I don't think the Goblin Sapper, when it dies, in order to deal that damage, I don't believe it provides any experience. So the Tauren Chieftain and the Farseer might have taken or might have caught up quite a bit in that experience disadvantage here. All right, Tauren Chieftain now trying to lead the charge here. Slow being cast by the sorceresses, making the front line of those grunts a little bit difficult. All right, in comes a roar as well. A big bit of extra damage, plus 25 damage from all of these units as the Tauren Chieftain still leads the charge here. Now finally with level 2 Endurance Aura. Kodo Beast trying to dine and dash, was able to do, well, it looks like it was able to do exactly that. Dine and dash and now head away. Mountain King wants to chase after that target and will be able to chase after that, but removing it from the remainder of the fight here as the Tauren Chieftain now goes to town across the remainder of the human army here. TGW, and as you can see, the army of Grubby, as beefy as it is, doesn't really dish out damage that effectively. Oftentimes, that is one of the main problems of Orc armies. They're unable to deal out damage quickly. That is why the Blade Master has been such a powerful hero for so long for the Orc. That burst damage from those critical strikes really making a dramatic difference. All right, Grubby sitting at 39 over 51, a little bit worse for wear. TGW coming back out ahead, 47 over 54, taking that slight supply lead again, and now having a level 4 Mountain King to follow things up as well. Coming back down to the south here, Tauren Chieftain at 4, Farseer getting very close to 4, looking to close that gap as a quick illusion scouts absolutely nothing except for a watchtower here at this forward spot. All right, who's going to gain the experience? I believe Tauren Chieftain's still trying to gain the experience. That comes as a bit of a surprise to me, as the Farseer could also get up to level 4, get in a little bit of bonus damage, and perhaps have Chain Lightning just be that much more effective. But it looks as though Grubby really wants level 5 on that Tauren Chieftain even more for that larger stun. All right, there goes a boulder onto the Farseer here. Both sides going to engage. Dire Frostwolf absorbing quite a bit of damage. That is just an illusion getting purged down there as the Granite Golem finally making a play and trying to make a play back over. Farseer should get up to level 4 there. There you go. Tauren Chieftain now sitting at level 4. Farseer may try to back up here if it really wants the Tauren Chieftain to get to level 5. And the Farseer is actually staying nearby still. All right, more damage are still racking up against that Granite Golem. Farseer, he's kind of like in that no man's land, not engaging, but still close enough to gain experience as the Tauren Chieftain picks up Unholy Aura for very fast movement speed onto that Tauren Chieftain and perhaps that Farseer. Kodo Beast just moving quickly as well. And that Tauren Chieftain, who will be getting up to level 5 here after a green creep camp, will be landing some fairly effective stomps. All right, back off to the north. Tauren Chieftain just going to get that little bit of experience and then back away, allowing that Farseer to get more and more experience as well. Pendant of Energy going to get picked up by the Farseer. Is that going to get transferred to the Tauren Chieftain for more stomps? He's already at 315 mana, going to jump up to 415 there, and now that's exactly what you want, a fast-moving level 3 Tauren Chieftain who has access to multiple stomps. The question, though, is can the Tauren Chieftain actually land those stomps effectively, as we're starting to see TGW transition into Spellbreakers, and that Mountain King also getting up to level 5. Level 5 Mountain King, level 3 Stormbolt. That stun coupled with some Spellbreakers could really, remove the effectiveness of that Tauren Chieftain's stomp. All right, Sentry Ward being placed down here. A little bit of, pacing going back and forth now. Mountain King, Rifleman, Priest, and Sorceresses making their way down Archmage going to get ready and into position, scouting out that peon here. Army going to be moving off to the north. Raiders going to be engaging. And here we are. The Wolves are in position here. Arcane Vault in that front line spot, going to absorb quite a bit of damage and get taken down quickly. Meanwhile, Army of TGW wants to retreat back and try and defend all of this infrastructure that has been so heavily invested in. All right, Tauren Chieftain now making its way through. No, not going to push on in. Yes, Evelyn. All right, gonna push on in. Our Spellbreakers now trying to make their way back around, perhaps land a Stormbolt on any trailing unit, but that Unholy Aura adding in a little bit of additional movement speed to get out of that sticky situation. Riflemen, Priests, Spellbreakers now making their way back across here as we see Grubby setting up an expansion at his opponent's far expansion location. That is going to come across as a bit of a surprise, as the Mountain King and the Archmage, until it actually ventures over there, has no reason to head over there or to even scout there. And Grubby, all this time, it looks like he was trying to set up an expansion at his natural location with that watchtower. Coming back on through, Mountain King, well, finally going to deal with that watchtower that has been a bit of an outpost for so long. Meanwhile, here we go, going to try and engage a Stormbolt onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain, well, going to easily shake that off. A Purge onto the Mountain King, a little bit of damage there as the Tauren Chieftain now looks to back up again. All right, very fast movement speed. Unholy Aura, 7% increased movement speed coupled with the Tauren Chieftain's already 20% increased movement speed does boost the overall move rate quite significantly. Raiders, yeah, also moving very fast as well. Farseer trying to catch up a bit in that experience race as a water elemental gonna scout out of this great hall by Grubby. This hidden base is not gonna, well, see completion or that much production, as the water elemental dealing quite a bit of damage as there is no armor on this great hall, so it is dealing full damage per blast there. Grubby still trying to heal, and Grubby going into some of his favorite units, the Witch Doctors, just giving so much control and insight. Healing wards perhaps not going to be on the table, as you do not want healing wards to be taken control of by your opponent's Spellbreakers. Mountain King, well, gets in I believe that was a Thunderclap there. Yeah, some big Thunderclap damage coming back across. Mountain King comes in with a Stormbolt as well. This is going to be very bad news. There throws down a Stomp, and now Blizzard raining down. TGW transitioning into Clap Blizzard, making things difficult, but the Blizzard actually also dealing significant damage to his own units if he is not careful. Kodo Beast absorbing quite a bit of damage, becoming a pin cushion for those Spellbreakers and those Riflemen as it gets taken down there. Mountain King with another Thunderclap here. That level 3 dizziness really causing problems. Stormbolt to finish off that last there, as TGW is just in the driver's seat of this game. However, an expansion off to the north here could give Grubby a bit of the economic lead he needs in order to stick around, but he needs to find a way to, well, defend his base in order to let that in order to let some infrastructure or some way find a way to effectively spend that gold. The army still looking rather strong here. Archmage sitting at level 4, nearly at level 5, could get there, as the Grubby's Grunt is just within range for that Archmage, giving level 5 perhaps level 3 Brilliance Aura. Yep, level 3 Brilliance Aura over level 3 Blizzard. All of the priests and sorceresses are going to be maxed out on mana, but perhaps more importantly, that Mountain King is going to be topped off on 4 mana. All right. Well, if you turn a game into a base race scenario, you have more bases than your opponent, that could turn out well. Tauren Chieftain of Grubby now leading the charge here, going to try and perhaps put some pressure inside the main base instead of trying to defend. More barracks trying to be built in the back here. Not quite sure what to make of this by Grubby. That should just be canceled, or perhaps being built off to the north side here. That building is only being built to be destroyed, as the Tauren Chieftain, well, is going to try to land down a Stomp. Yes, does land down a Stomp, but does not get one of the priests in the back who are able to launch an attack against a Witch Doctor. 600 hit points left here. Barracks is still being built. Grubby sitting at 50 over 52 supply, but he is running up on 2 bases and will be able to buy himself a little bit more time and also retrain up more units. Voodoo Lounge now being replaced as well, but you can see what's happening. TGW bringing them over the main army to shut down what is already a very much weakened expansion, as a Blizzard, well, stopping any of that work, or much of the work in its tracks. All right, Blizzard still raining down here. Peon, well, Mountain King gonna try and catch up. There's a store bolt against a frontline unit. Oh, Watchtower trying to be built and canceled. I don't know how much gold that actually cost, but the units were all retreated back right there, perhaps expecting some sort of thunderclap to finish off the units. All right. Grubby loses his Great Hall, and as TGW's army is walking away, he rebuilds the Great Hall, as there's still hit and run tactics here. Grubby had raiders nearby, so rebuilding the city before the invaders and the destroyers even leave, that's a bit of an odd move right there. All right, Peon's looking to retreat back. Archmage wants to land some Blizzard and destroy this orc, all of that orc mining here. Meanwhile, off to the north, the main hall has been destroyed. All right, so no more mining at the main hall here, as the Peons are now attempting to retreat back, but they really have nowhere to run back to. Raiders now going to dive on in as well, going to attempt to take down that arcane tower. Are we getting some additional gold? No, yes, we are. There is a pillage going on amongst the raiders and the grunts here. So every attack, they're getting a little bit of gold as well. All right, this Great Hall is halfway completed. Meanwhile, Mountain King going to be heading back off to the north, as you can actually scout out that Great Hall. That is the question here, as the Tauren Chieftain looking to clean things up against the farm and the remaining buildings. Here is a problem. Riflemen and casters are not effective at taking down buildings. We've known this from years and years of undead play. It's generally straight up army fights that is better for rifle casters than trying to actually race down buildings, unless you add in mortar teams as well. So far, though, the Tauren Chieftain, the Raiders, and Grunts are just trying to clear things out here, as this Great Hall is nearing completion, and Grubby may be able to rebuild that point of interest. And the fact that Grubby is not getting revealed is also going to do a little bit of a tip-off. Oh, there's a null hut. I thought that was some sort of orc building for a second. All right, still coming back on through. Grunts clearing up buildings here. All right, supply count. What were we looking at? There is 44 over 10 supply going up against 56 over 36, as the remainder of these buildings are getting cleaned up. All right, Water Elemental attempting to... Well, who's going to get the last hit? It looks as though the Kobold Geomancer gets the last hit there, as Grubby gets one final shot there as well. All right, still gaining up a little bit of experience. Now trying to build up more orc burrows. And this is actually a bit interesting. The pillage of the grunts is allowing Grubby to build up orc burrows here, as they are getting low. One very low hit point grunt, or soon to be dead grunt of Grubby, hiding in the back. Bestiary barracks in the back here, all getting cleaned up nicely. One grunt here getting... Well, trying to get in an engagement. There is a lumber mill about to be completed, but it is instead gonna most likely just get canceled right there, or was it destroyed? Difficult to tell. I believe it was just canceled, as every bit of gold matters so much. All right, another lumber mill, partially constructed lumber mill. Lumber mills, a gold effective for how much gold they cost, how many hit points they have. As we're looking at, well, a water elemental making its way through. Oh, that one peon, absolutely key. It needs to hide inside there, as we see that getting cleaned up. All right, 262, perhaps, well, you need 2 more orc burrows before you can actually get full saturation there, as a building after building is getting lost. Now, here is a question. Why is that one grunt is still pillaging away here? Raider wants to be able to, ensnare down some units. The grunts could perhaps get in a little bit more gold, as well. This is actually a bit of a strange spot, as TGW's army is actually significantly larger and should be able to should be able to cause a bit of problems if they do have a straight up fight. All right, one shaman here, peon still mining back away, perhaps trying to buy in a couple of items. Tauren chieftain attempting to get away now, just buying time for himself. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. There's a Shockwave. So there was a retrained Shockwave over Stomp as the Tauren Chieftain now going to try and head back away. All right, Tauren Chieftain. There's a Purge right there. There's a little bit of damage. There's a Chain Lightning. There's a Shockwave rushing on through. Scroll of Healing now being used to try and counteract that, as the Tauren Chieftain could turn things back around and perhaps land another Shockwave again. All right, there's another Purge onto that Mountain King as well. That Shaman now trying to retreat back. Meanwhile, we are looking at Spirit Wolves attempting to take down the remainder of the buildings left here, as there was a water elemental trying to take this down. This one lumber mill is pretty much all that is left outside of the main starting base here. Grunt still attempting to take down that building here. Do we have more mining? Yes, we do. That one peon just trying to work as hard as he can to get things up and running again. Only one peon, Evelyn. Only one. And he can't train up anymore because there's not enough orc burrows. Back down to the south here, main army, Archmage, Mountain King trying to engage here. Grubby trying to find a way to gain access to this one lumber mill, and finds it with the help of some dire wolves. We've seen this happen in the past. The Tauren Chieftain with Shockwave able to easily burst down buildings with that damage, as we see a Stormbolt now go down on to the Spirit Wolves, only for them to be resummoned away. One Grunt continuing to pound away at all of these buildings here off to the north. Is that a Staff of Teleportation? Yes, it is. Staff of Teleportation. A Grunt versus a Mountain King Stormbolt right there. Is the army going to try and engage? Tauren Chieftain may take this as an opportunity or invitation to take down this lumber mill, since the Mountain King is so far away from the action. Meanwhile, Water Elementals attempting to take down the Bestiary here. There is still mining going on. 33 over 31 supply, but now needs a bit more gold. And, well, I believe Grubby is going to come away with the win, as the Farseer should just be able to take down this last build. No, there's still one building here. That farm has 105 hit points, and that is that was a major setback here. Tauren Chieftain, do they have a Scroll of Town Portal? They do, but is that going to be enough? It's going to go ahead and try and Scroll of Town Portal here. Are we going to get perhaps some repairs going as well, as they're going to go ahead and line up straight up onto all of those units? There goes a Chain Wave onto the Archmage. Archmage quickly using a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Tauren Chieftain now pretty much out of mana. There's a massive Thunderclap, followed by a Scroll of Healing, as the Farseer gets taken down. Level 6 now onto that Mountain King. Archmage could get taken down. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of purge. And what is going on here, as Grubby is victorious? TGW throws in the towel. At the very end, Grubby is the victor, even though TGW had the higher score. Pretty much winning in winning in that hero category, getting to level 6, but that Archmage was about to fall. And once that Archmage falls, that Tauren Chieftain would have gotten to level 6. And, well, level 6 Tauren Chieftain versus level 6 Mountain King with only one building left, that would have been it. Was it the farm? Oh, you're right. I think it was the farm. The Spirit Wolves, there was a run onto the farms off on the right. So major fight there. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that nail biter of a game right until the very end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.